Hi, it's time to talk about some of the things that happened this summer in our online class. When reflecting, we've been asked to think of two or three things that really mattered to us or that we thought a lot about during the summer. And I think that the first thing that came to mind when I was asked to talk about these things is I had apprehension to start the online teaching. It wasn't any different than my face to face apprehension that I have every semester at the beginning when we start. I usually don't sleep the night before the first class, and it was about the same with the online teaching. I had some of the same questions in my mind. Did I prepare enough? Am I going to be able to fill the time for the first class, not knowing any of the students or any of their learning habits or their abilities? But what I found was that on the online course, it basically happened the same way as the other course did, whether face to face or online. The students come in with the same questions, the same apprehension that they do in the face to face class. They want some clarification on the assignments and how you're going to run the class. So it was imperative that I began even the online class with a sense of community. And we started the online the same as we do the face to face, where we introduce ourselves and we talk a little bit about our backgrounds and how we came to St. Vincent College. I was given a little hint by one of the other professors who had the course before me that some of the students did not want to talk online about themselves. So we had a little group discussion where they introduced someone else, and this seemed to work out fairly well. So that first day session was very much the same as it was in the face to face, other than uh, what I expected was I would have um, some clumsiness with the actual usage of the program and the moving back and forth um, into rooms and discussion. But that all went pretty well. And that leads me to the part where a good bit of my class is activity. And I needed to have the students interface with each other. I found that being a newbie at the program, the easiest thing for me to do was not to have them go into groups happenstance, but to actually show them who they would be studying with or working with each evening. So I would make up my lists and present them to them at the beginning of class. That way, I got a better assessment of who was actually learning better with another person or giving them a wide variety of philosophies, because the class that I was teaching was an ethics and philosophical perspective class. So the more uh, people that you come in contact and work with during that class, the more perspectives you will see and the more varied ideas will come to you. And I wanted to ensure, I very easily ensured that in the face to face class, but I wanted to make sure that it would work the same in the online class. So, with a little bit of more work from me at the beginning and planning and being ready, I was managed to move the students so that they saw different people and were working with different people in their groupings. The other and last perspective that I had was I was worried about assessing their actual classroom performance. Um, Knowing and listening to my students, besides checking their work, which the infusion of that work that they did out of class was good and easier to check than I thought that it would be online. It gave me opportunities to give them feedback on that, and that worked out very well. What I was most worried about was how was I going to assess their actual in-class performance. So that I kind of did the old school way. I had myself a little sheet beside my computer, and as my students were responding in class to questions or giving their response to an activity, I kept track of maybe some phrases that I thought showed that they were showing understanding of the concept, or if they had some insightful thinking, I would put that down also. In this way, I had a running record, so to speak, on the side. I wasn't trying to keep it all in memory or to type it somewhere. And that was kind of an old school way to do it with a new school learning. But the mixing of the two works well for people like me who are used to face teaching. The online teaching I thought was very enlightening. It was much simpler than I thought, but much of that was due to I had a very good graduate assistant, Abigail Zalaki, who helped me prepare for the course. So the preparation kind of took out all the issues that the big blocks that I might run into as I taught the course. So the course went relatively smoothly for me. Um, I have a couple of ideas of how I'm going to assess that participation maybe a little better next time, but I won't have that apprehension that I had this semester. So, thank you very much, and I hope these comments are helpful to those of you who will be moving into the online world in the